In ancient Egypt, a decree was made. The pharaoh, afraid of the growing Hebrew population, ordered all newborn Hebrew boys to be drowned in the Nile. Amidst this dark time, a Levite woman gave birth to a son. She saw that he was special and decided to hide him.
For 3 months she kept me safe from harm, but soon she could hide me no longer.
Desperate yet hopeful, she crafted a small basket made of papyrus and set it adrift among the reeds along the Nile's edge.
The river, often a symbol of death, now cradled the future of a nation.
His sister Miriam watched from a distance. Pharaoh's daughter came down to bathe and spotted the basket. As she opened it, the baby cried and her heart was touched. Moved by compassion, she decided to adopt him as her own.
Thus Moses, meaning drawn out of the water, began his journey, destined to change the course of history.
Miriam offered to find a Hebrew woman to nurse the child, and Pharaoh's daughter agreed. Miriam brought their own mother. He learned of his heritage, even as he was raised in the grandeur of the Egyptian court. Moses grew up surrounded by the splendor of Pharaoh's palace. As a prince of Egypt, he received the finest education. He learned the wisdom of the Egyptians, mastering languages, sciences, and arts.
Yet despite the luxury, my heart remained restless. Deep within, I felt a connection to my true kin, the Hebrews who toiled as slaves.
The palace was a world of contradictions for Moses. He lived a life of privilege, yet he was aware of the suffering of his people.
I often pondered my dual identity, torn between the life I knew and the one I felt drawn to.
Occasionally Moses would venture out to see his people. He was disturbed by their harsh treatment under the Egyptian taskmasters.
Even then, the seeds of leadership were being planted, nurtured by the fertile soil of compassion and justice.
In Pharaoh's palace, Moses learned not only the ways of Egypt but also the strength of character. He grew into a man of conviction, his spirit unyielding. The stage was set for the journey that lay ahead, a journey that would test his faith and ultimately define his legacy. One day Moses witnessed an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave. His heart surged with anger, and in a moment of passion he struck the Egyptian down. Realizing what he had done, he buried the body in the sand, hoping no one would discover his deed. But news travels fast, and soon Pharaoh heard of the incident. Moses' life in Egypt was over.
I had to flee.
He fled to the land of Midian, far from the world he knew. There, he found refuge with Jethro, a priest of Midian, and began a new life. He married Zipporah, Jethro's daughter, and became a shepherd, tending to the flocks in the desert.
It was here that I learned patience and humility, qualities that would serve me well in the years to come.
In Midian, Moses found a family and a sense of belonging he had never known. He embraced the simple life far removed from the opulence of Pharaoh's palace. Yet even in this new life, the memories of Egypt lingered.
The years passed and I grew content in my new role, but destiny had other plans.
The time was approaching when he would be called to leave this life of simple contentment. While tending his father-in-law's flock near Mount Horeb, Moses encountered a sight like no other. A bush was engulfed in flames, yet it was not consumed by the fire. Intrigued, he approached the bush, only to hear a voice calling his name.
"Moses, Moses!"
It was the voice of God, and it filled Moses with awe and fear.
"Take off your sandals, for the place where you stand is holy ground."
Moses did as he was told, trembling before the presence of the Almighty. God revealed his plan to Moses. He was to return to Egypt and lead the Israelites out of bondage.
How can I confront Pharaoh or convince the Israelites to follow me?
In response, God assured Moses that he would be with him. He gave Moses signs to prove his divine mission, like turning his staff into a snake.
"I will be with you, and I will appoint your brother Aaron to speak on your behalf."
With a heavy heart yet newfound resolve, Moses accepted the mission. The burning bush became a symbol of his faith and determination. It was here that Moses truly embraced his destiny, prepared to lead his people to freedom. Moses returned to Egypt, accompanied by his brother Aaron.
We stood before Pharaoh, demanding in God's name, "Let my people go."
Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he refused. Thus began a series of plagues that would devastate Egypt, each one designed to demonstrate the power of the God of Israel. The Nile River turned to blood, causing great distress. Frogs swarmed the land, followed by lice and swarms of flies. The livestock fell ill, and boils afflicted the Egyptians. Hailstorm and locusts ravaged the crops, leaving destruction in their wake. Darkness covered the land for 3 days, a darkness so thick it could be felt.
Yet I remained obstinate.
Each plague was a strike against the gods of Egypt, revealing their impotence before the one true God. Despite the suffering, Pharaoh's heart only grew harder. It was not until the 10th and final plague, the death of the firstborn, that Pharaoh relented. The Israelites marked their doorposts with lamb's blood, and the angel of death passed over them, sparing their children. Grief-stricken, Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron during the night.
Go and serve the Lord as you have said.
With this, the Israelites were free to leave Egypt. With Pharaoh's reluctant permission, the Israelites set out from Egypt. Guided by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, they journeyed toward freedom. Yet, their escape was not to be without its challenges. Pharaoh, overcome with regret, mustered his chariots and pursued the fleeing Hebrews. The Israelites found themselves trapped between Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea. Fear gripped their hearts and they cried out to Moses.
Do not be afraid, the Lord will fight for you, you need only to be still.
Then, following God's command, Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. A strong east wind blew, parting the waters and creating a dry path through the sea. The Israelites crossed over on dry ground, walls of water towering on either side. Pharaoh's army pursued them, but once the Israelites had safely crossed, Moses stretched out his hand again, and the waters returned, drowning the Egyptian forces. This miraculous escape was a testament to God's power and Moses' leadership. The crossing of the Red Sea became a defining moment in the Israelites' journey, symbolizing their deliverance from slavery. It marked the beginning of their journey to the Promised Land. After their escape, the Israelites journeyed to Mount Sinai. It was here that God would reveal his covenant with his people. Moses ascended the mountain, shrouded in smoke and thunder, to commune with God. There, he received the 10 Commandments, laws that would guide the Israelites in their new life. The commandments were inscribed on stone tablets, symbolizing the enduring covenant between God and his people. But while Moses was on the mountain, the Israelites grew impatient. In his absence, they constructed a golden calf, an idol to worship. This act of betrayal angered God, and Moses descended the mountain with a heavy heart. Seeing their idolatry, Moses shattered the tablets in his fury.
Please forgive their transgression.
Moved by Moses' intercession, God forgave them, commanding Moses to carve new tablets. The covenant was renewed, and the Israelites recommitted themselves to following God's laws. This episode highlighted Moses' role as an intermediary between God and his people. His leadership was tested, but he remained steadfast. The 10 Commandments became the foundation of Israelite society, shaping their moral and spiritual identity. The journey through the desert was long and arduous. The Israelites faced numerous trials, testing their faith and resilience. They often grumbled, longing for the comforts of Egypt. Yet, through it all, God provided. Manna, bread from heaven, appeared each morning to sustain them. Water flowed from rocks when they thirsted. In each challenge, Moses turned to God for guidance and provision. The desert was a place of learning and growth. The Israelites fought battles, defending themselves against hostile tribes. Under Moses' leadership, they constructed the tabernacle, a portable sanctuary that symbolized God's presence among them. The years in the wilderness forged a new generation, one that would enter the Promised Land. Despite their struggles, the Israelites learned dependence on God. Moses, too, grew as a leader. He faced rebellion and doubt, but remained committed to his mission. His faith in God never wavered, even when the path seemed uncertain. The desert was a crucible, refining both Moses and his people for the future that awaited them. As the 40 years drew to a close, the Israelites stood on the brink of the Promised Land. The long journey was almost over, yet for Moses the end was near. He had led them faithfully, preparing them for the life ahead. As the Israelites prepared to enter the Promised Land, God called Moses to Mount Nebo. From this vantage point, he beheld the land promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It spread out before him, a testament to the journey he had led his people on, though he knew he would not step into it. God spoke to Moses one last time, acknowledging his faithfulness and leadership.
You have been faithful, Moses.
It was here that Moses' journey came to an end. He died on Mount Nebo at the age of 120, with his strength undiminished and his spirit at peace. God himself buried Moses in an undisclosed location, and the Israelites mourned their leader for 30 days. Moses' life was a testament to unwavering faith and devotion. He had fulfilled God's purpose, delivering the Israelites from bondage and guiding them through the wilderness. His legacy lived on in the laws he imparted and the leadership he exemplified. He was not only a servant of God, but also a father to a nation. As the Israelites crossed the Jordan River into the Promised Land, they carried with them the teachings and spirit of Moses. His story was one of faith, resilience, and transformation, inspiring generations to come.